30 seconds until minions spawn.
Okay, welcome everyone. Tonight we've got LNZRO here versus... Hold on, a couple recall BMs there. Y2E Orange. So should be a good match here on our Saturday night. A couple games canceled on Friday, so we didn't get a match there.
Minions have spawned.
But we've got one for you now. And first look at, I believe, both teams on stream. I haven't seen a game of either of these guys, so... excited to see this. LNZRO, of course, the longest running organization in the Sugar Free League, and split into two teams for a couple seasons. Now they've got just one central one, and a lot of the names we know and, well, some of us love, I guess. But should be a good one. We've got a mid lane Cho'Gath here, and beyond that, pretty standard pickups in all the other places here. Though it is interesting to see a Skarner. Gangplank has been a champion that has sort of fallen out of the competitive radar for the most part, but is going to be played here. Y2EO did play it in Worlds Day, I think. I saw it that played once. Has been a pick for certain people. Sword was playing it for Griffin. But a lot of people have dropped it. You know, after they kind of destroyed the barrels and the mana on his Q. A few people, a few top laners play it, but mostly it has fallen to the wayside. Because we are going to get a hook down in the bot lane. We'll start things off nice here for LNZRO flashing in. They're going to get the first blood onto Kai'Sa. Indigo in the sub. Going to grab that one. Using both the support summoner spells here, but the Kai'Sa didn't even get her flash off. No heal in that bot lane. Was taking TP to try and get a little bit of the lane advantage there, and pays with her life for that one. As another hook gonna land, this time onto the Thresh. But I guess we'll just call them TL. I don't think those characters are actually gonna show up. I believe those are Chinese or Korean characters, which no longer show up on the North American client. They used to. That's why he has those little like funky nameplates there. But for some reason, a while ago they changed it so that I guess I forget what you call it. Well, we gotta play the top side. Grass procs, and as well as a few Qs are gonna take climb very low. Flash in. Gangplank bot gonna get the solo kill. Doesn't even ignite in the lane. Has the TP, but able to find it. Now where's my jungle here? Gonna be on to Gangplank bot. It's gonna get pretty close though. The orange actually healing up. The Conqueror proc, but it was not enough healing. Goes back in though, and we'll get it. The auto. With a flag and drag to get in will allow a counter kill there from where my jungle, as Klein TP's back to lane here. So Gangplank bot getting the solo kill down there. At least matching the kill so far in the early game there. A solo kill on the top side, a 2v kill on the bot side, and then jungler with a response there. Haven't even talked about the mid lane yet. That'll be an interesting one to keep track of. Obviously gonna be AP Cho'Gath here with the Comet. Has been doing fine in lane here, it looks like, just pushing the lane with those Vorpal spikes, as well as getting that sustain from the passive has just made it pretty easy for Quanzilla to sustain through this lane, and worked out pretty well so far. As another hook gonna land, but now on the top side, we've got a gank here from Potato God on to Klein as Gangplank bot here with the autos, the slows. And now Klein with no flash. He will get flashed on. Potato God with a stun. And Gangplank bot gonna help out with that one. A kill over to the jungle of Y2E Orange. And he hadn't even gone back yet, actually. That was his 5 minutes in. Now he's going back for the first time. It gets Predator Boots. So that's a really long time to go without Predator Boots. That first gank without him. Pretty interesting. Acely did almost all of his camps and ended up topside and finds a kill. So not a bad way to start off with your first gank without Predator Boots, in my eyes. As We've got a Cloud Drake here. It looks like LNZRO wants to make a move onto that. They've got 3 members here. Now, Indigo making his way over as well. That'll be a Cloud Drake for them. Drake really going to help out. Actually, looking at the roster, I was just trying to, assess what was going on here. They have a lot of movement speed sort of base champions, getting in range with the Nautilus, but also being able to move with the Rise. The Phase Rush is already on 2 champions, so they like the move speed. Indigo has an ultimate that speeds up everyone. I think this actually is a pretty valuable dragon. I mean, the rotations are going to be pretty useful as well if you want to drop into side lanes. Rise and Vlad certainly can. I think the 1v1 up against Gangplank could be a bit tricky if the Gangplank continues to do well here, but those are 2 champions that do really well in side lanes against most of the League of Legends roster. Did knock up going to come through from Quanzilla. Gotta be careful that mid lane for sure. Ignite and Feast are available there for that Cho'Gath. So that is going to be something to watch out for. If you are a bit greedy, stay a bit too long, then you can certainly die. Your Rupture, one of the best, I think, CC abilities. It's just so, that's not a point and click anyway, because it's really, really hard to dodge if you don't have augmented move speed. Like, you've already procced a Phase Rush, you can dodge the Rupture like a decent amount of the time, but if you have normal move speed, it's really difficult to. Especially with only tier 1 boots. Especially if you get stunned up by the Vorpal spikes, or if you get silenced, As there, the Rupture is going to land flashing from Quanzilla. The Feast doesn't find the kill, but he will with the autos and the Ignite. There you go, that's what I was talking about. The Cho'Gath grabs the kill, doesn't get the stack, but hey, he gets 300 gold, so not bad. As Gangplank bot is doing really well in this lane. I did not think he was going to do so well, but I guess if you're naming yourself Gangplank bot, you probably really like Gangplank and probably play him a lot. And he's got that Dread Nova skin, very, very cool. So, impressed by both teams so far. Neither has gained a convincing edge just yet. I mean, the gold lead is over to Y2E Orange, but LNZRO had the gold lead for a little bit here. It's kind of too early to tell what that'll really mean later on. If we get a look between the lanes here, you can see Gangplank bot up about 600 there. Jungle's even. Mid lane, though, has gone in favor of the Cho'Gath, but that was because of the kill onto the jungler, as well as a tiny, a little bit of CS lead there. And then bot lane, a little bit of CS lead, and of course the kill, or the assist and the kill, going to give the edge over to LNZRO there. So it's not really like a convincing advantage to either side. A few advantages here and there. And now the gold's literally dead even. So neither side has really shown that they have, run away with this one. Sometimes you get games like that where at 8 minutes you know who's going to win, but I wouldn't say we've got one of those right now. Gangplank bot has already gone for the Grievous Wounds there. Got the Sheen, got the Executioners. And Indigo actually shoving in the wave here with this Sivir, trying to continue to put pressure on this turret. He's already taken some damage on the turret, but not at plating. As Quanzilla now has a Lost Chapter and 3 Doran's Rings, so he actually has a decent amount of AP right now. Interesting, he goes for the Lost Chapter. Most AP Cho'Gaths I have seen in the past have gone for Proto Belt, and then into like Oblivion Orb, Death Cap, or like Zonies if they need it. But here we go, Flash Gank in the bot lane. The sub has been locked up. He'll certainly go down. Gonna try and peel for his AD carry a little bit. Will buy a bit of time, but Indigo has been jumped on and now pulled back, impaled by that Skarner. Will go down. The Gadsden, though, will find Potato God, and the kill will come through. Flying with a good TP in. He grabs the kill onto TL there as Ronaldo. Flash away, but gets rooted by Tuller, who flashed to follow, and Tuller will grab the kill with an overload as Gangplank bot with TP did not match Klein's TP, unfortunately, and we'll grab some plates. One and probably a second one as he pushes the wave back in. But a huge play bot side there, responding to that gank. Very well done by LNZRO. Good coordination. They're able to get some plates on the bot side as well as a bunch of counter kills. The server there with 4 assists, you can see. Supportive AD carry. Cooler grabs that second plate. We'll head back out. We got a dragon spawning an ocean in a couple seconds here, and that support bot side will mean a lot in case that dragon becomes something to fight over. Unfortunately, no TPs available now to join for Klein, but Gangplank bot does. Our Tula does, so it's kind of tricky to see who actually have priority. I guess 4 members are available from LNZRO side, but potentially 5 are from the side of Y2E Orange. So it'll be interesting to see how much each side commits to this dragon, as it is an ocean, but it's somewhat late in the game for an ocean dragon at 11 minutes. Neither side is really poke dependent. It's kind of the team fight. A little bit of split push, but mostly a team fight, I think, oriented from both sides. Of course, picks as well, but into the bot side we go. Flash in from the sub, looking for the hook. We'll find it here onto the Kaiser. She gets locked down, but a good lantern will get her out. Ignite, and that shield from the Killer Instinct will save her for a little bit, but down she goes as well as the Skarner there. Pitted goes down as we get a hook underneath the turret there. Another one from the sub, and another kill there as the sub picks that one up, and they go onto the turret. A 3-4-1 as actually there was a kill in the top side, Klein falling down, and now the turret on the bot side should be doing the same here as the last plate goes. They've got a Candyman and 3 people here. That should be the turret there. Well done, the sub with a great engage in the support role now. Is looking good here as the turret falls. 12 minutes in, goal lead now 2,000 for LNZRO. They lost that Vladimir, but Cooler came up and covered a little bit there, and 3 plays lost in the top lane, 2 in the mid lane, but they get the first turret. It's Quanzilla trying to find Cooler as he walks back to lane, gets the rupture, but not able to get close enough. Doesn't have Feast up, so no real kill pressure without Feast and Ignite. As Ocean Drake now going to be taken as Y2E Orange come back out on the map. And now that gold lead significant in the 80 carry position. 1,300 up, mid lane pretty much even. Jungle, a slight advantage there for the Jarvan, and the top lane a slight advantage for the Gangplank. That 80 carry position has quite a big difference between them, which is going to be important to keep track of later on. You know, if one team can fight, the other can't. Right now, the Kai'Sa is sitting on that Mana Immune and a pickaxe, but Indigo has already cashed in a call and has grabbed the Essence Reaver. So Rift Herald will be taken now. Still plating's up for another 30 seconds here. We'll see where they go with it. Where my jungle clearing out wards now with the sub. Does he want to go mid lane? Does he want to go top lane? Looks like they call this top lane. They need to drop it soon if they want to get it before plating is gone here. There's 20 seconds left. It will be summoned. Hook coming through. Oh my goodness, it misses just barely. Where my jungle able to get the Rift Herald summon off here is that depth charge thrown down. Potato God knocked up. So is Potato God. Quanzilla goes down. Potato God as well. Gangplank got hooked in. TL here with a good hook, but it only by a little bit of room here as Gangplank bot able to flash away and go chasing TL underneath the turret. That Thresh I think is going to be dead soon. Yep, there he goes. Indigo with the kill. Tuller able to help out there, and now the Rift Herald gets the charge off. The platings were taken down. They won't get all the plating gold, but they got a decent chunk of it there in the top lane, and now Rift Herald will get a second charge off, and it should be a pretty big amount of damage. The Rift Herald used to do no damage when it didn't have very much health, but now takes about a half the turret, and the inner turret will go down here. Well done. A big swing for LNZRO here as they get a couple kills. Grab the turret. 28,000 to 23,000 now. Almost 29,000, so 6K-ish gold lead. Indigo is getting pretty strong here. 416 on the Sivir. Has quite a bit of gold to go back with. Not a full Zeal item, but should be close to it. Or maybe it should be a full Zeal. No, he's going to go for Infinity Edge next, which is a logical choice. So he's just going to grab some AD items. Does not have the crit cloak yet, but like that decision. I thought he might go Zeal just because of the gold amount. As well as, you know, more movement speed. Gotta go fast. You know how it is. Luden's Echo now completed, though, for the Cho'Gath, so quite a bit of damage for him when he goes in. Potato God onto the sub, but I don't think either one of those guys is going to die anytime soon. Knight's Vow already completed there by the sub, so settling into the support role nicely as Klein. He's not the greatest lane phase, but he really hugged in there quite well and actually picked up some kills off the TP, and you know, a decent job from him. But the point is here is that he's scaling and Gangplank is scaling as well, but the rest of Gangplank's team doesn't really act as a great front line for him. The Skarner's the only real tank. Cho'Gath isn't, so I think you're gonna have a hard time, you know, working that champion in team fights. Whereas Klein, he's got a front line with the Jarvan, with Nihilus, and he can dive himself in there. So I think the composition for lane 0 might work out a bit better, at least be easier to execute for the most part for them. Whereas the Gangplank can struggle, as he's a damage threat that sort of plays weirdly in the back line at times. And I mean, you can go more bruisery, but the Skarner is going to die pretty quick at this stage in the game with all the damage that lane 0 has right now. Their two big damage threats are very far ahead. I should say very far. The Sivir is very far ahead. The Rise is only slightly ahead of that Cho'Gath right now. As it looks like they're waiting for maybe someone to walk in this bot side jungle here. There's not really a ton to do on the map. Not really possible to push any sort of turrets right now. Most jungle camps are down. You're waiting for that dragon spawn, which is going to be a cloud in 30 seconds. So there wasn't really anything to do on the map necessarily. I think maybe resetting at this stage, even if you don't have any items, might be a good idea. Like, you grab one component in a control ward or something, just because you're not going to be able to back for another minute or two, and you're kind of waiting for the dragon spawn anyway. So especially as the Jarvan just top off that health. Yeah, because we're all kind of sitting around here waiting for the dragon. There's not really a ton to do at the moment. But it looks like the Cho'Gath are going to go Proto Belt second, so picking that one up, just a little bit different order this time around. A lot of champions have been doing this recently, going Luden's Echo into Proto Belt, or vice versa. Getting those 2 items first here. Klein going to get collapsed in the side lane. Mule Plague dropped in the Impale as well. Klein with a Phase Rush proc. Still has Flash available, but here comes the cannons raining down upon Klein. He will die to Gangplank bot. TP coming in from Tooler in the mid lane. We're going to 4-man push there with the Sivir. The turret already very low. The inner turret will drop there. So 3-man collapse on the top side gets Klein, but at the cost of their inner turret and a dragon. I think that's... It doesn't feel good, but I think it may be good at this state. You know, when you're in this position, when you're down a decent amount of gold here, 36.2 to 29.7 at the moment here with lane 0 out in front. That may just be the right move, honestly. It feels pretty bad, but I think you kind of have to do it, because it's hard to find advantages when you've got a lot of people grouped up. So just collapsing into a side lane may be the only thing you really can do. Is that Cho'Gath starting to get pretty big? He's got that skin. I don't think you can buy the Darkstar Cho'Gath anymore. It was sold as like a charity thing, and I think they took it off. I don't know why they didn't leave it up, because it's a charity skin, but could be wrong about that. I remember there was an event for it. It looks very cool, and for a good cause. So apparently Quanzilla isn't a monster after all. But now we've got a 2-item Kaisa. Infinity Edge complete for Indigo. But Cronaldo with his Rage Blade, with his Man Immune, he's going to be pretty strong himself here. There's one thing about the Kaisa. Kind of like Ezreal, when you get those 2 items, you become very strong. 427 on the stacks, though, so he's got a ways to go before those that Man Immune transforms, which is, you know, something to keep in mind, because he's not at full power until he gets that. Potato God face checking, though, a brush. He will get knocked up, hooked, and then killed by Indigo. 5th kill for the Sivir here, and that was not what you're hoping for. Face checking A brush as a jungler at 20 minutes when the enemy team is very far ahead and has the chance of doing it is not exactly where you want to be, but kind of had to do it. I mean, there were blue trinkets available, but the sub now going to hook in Gangplank bot. Realm Warp coming through from Tuller. Not going to bring anyone along, actually. It's just him. Gangplank bot going to get killed by Indigo over the wall here as Ronaldo trying to take this red buff, but will be stolen by Tuller, and Baron will die. Where my jungle and Indigo getting a bit low, but they'll grab this Baron. No problem. And there you go. 20-minute Baron here for lane 0. Where my jungle just going to go ahead and back while everyone else pushes out the lanes here. And this should be a really nice Baron play. 10,000 gold is the lead. Ronaldo has to back. He's dying through the Raptors here. And not a ton of wave clear. Gangplank doesn't clear Baron minions particularly well. You know, the Cho'Gath has a little bit of wave clear, but not really what you're hoping for out of a mid lane mage in terms of wave clear. And Kai'Sa, same thing, a decent amount of wave clear, but again, Baron minions, not great. So now we move into this Baron power play, and it's how do you really stop them? You know, they don't really have the tools to at the moment. The siege isn't great. That is one thing I will say here from lane 0. They have very low range. Their 80 carries 500 range. So with the engage tools, especially with no QSSs purchased, like if you look at lane 0 right now, they have not a single QSS to stop Potato God. Basically no MR. In fact, no MR purchased. No MR has been purchased at all by lane 0. And I only talk about that because of the Cho'Gath. If you can one-shot someone, you know, like Rupture, Silence, and Auto Ignite, Feast. You just pick someone off for free. I mean, that can stop the push in its tracks. So keep your eyes on the Cho'Gath here. In fact, they're setting up one over the wall. They pick off the sub. At least they get a knockdown on him, a hook. Aftershock, though, going to save him for a little bit. Now finally goes down to Gangplank bot here. Indigo firing away. Will find Zilla. The Ignite goes on him, but he's okay. His team coming in to reinforce. Where's my jungle? Cataclysm over the wall here. Potato God will die as well. Gangplank bot now the only one left. Finds a lot of damage onto Where My Jungle, but a good spell flux spread from the Rise. Tuller grabs that kill, and Ace, a 4-for-1, and Klein wasn't even here to see it. Up in the top lane, pushed in minions here in lane 0. Indigo almost going down in the turret. They grab that bot lane inhibitor turret. Gonna grab the bot lane inhibitor. Gonna grab the top lane inhibitor turret. Gonna Realm Warp over here to the Nexus turrets, and they're going for the end. Skarner back in a couple seconds. Kai'Sa and Thresh already alive here. Killer Instinct is off cooldown. Will be able to be used as 4 members now. Total 4. Y2E Orange will come back out. The Nexus turrets, a sliver of health left on 1. So they have that to their name, but 2 inhibitors down. Baron buff will be timing out soon, but still a little bit of time left. So maybe they'll get a tiny bit of push down the mid lane, maybe. And they come back out of base. But this one looking strong from lane 0 to start with. Y2E Orange have a chance of coming back in this one. They've got a very strong composition at this stage in the game here with a GP on 2 items, Kai'Sa on 2. Almost completed that man immune here. The Cho'Gath has the potential to kill people as he feasts on that blue buff. Did he feast? No. Never mind, it's off cooldown. I'm trolling. But now another Cloudjet going to be taken here. That makes that 3 for lane 0, so they're going to be moving quite fast. Righteous Glory was complete for Potato God, so that is a potential engage tool. QSS now completed for Indigo. And Hook going to land on a Potato God. Klein looking with the damage here. Potato God will get out. Sub almost interrupts that Lantern, going for that highlight Reddit play there. But not able to get it now. We're on to the inhib turret in the mid lane as lane 0 trying to push through. 24 minutes in, they're up over 10,000 gold at the moment. Yeah, QSS purchase for Indigo, as I was saying, but no one else. So there's still 4 juicy targets for Potato to sink his pincers into. He will get rooted up here and have to take that Lantern back out. As More poke gonna be exchanged here with some barrels, which honestly seems unsafe to shoot a barrel full of black powder with a gun. I feel like that's not a controlled explosion whatsoever. So maybe that's why he lost his arm, is unsafe, you know, storage of explosive material. So now here comes the cannon barrage. Can't even imagine what they're doing with that. His ship must be a safety hazard here. We get a knockup onto Quanzilla, but he'll take the Proto Belt out as well as the Lantern. Inib in the mid lane will fall, though, for lane 0. And now with 3 lanes of super minions marching down towards your base, Y2E Orange probably won't hold out for long, as lane 0 just content to chill in there. Gonna be pushing minion Potato God. Oh, should not go on the Sivir. He'll go engaged now from the Jarvan. He'll get pulled back with the Impale. He'll go down now. A trade of jungle for mid laner. Quanzilla has fallen. Line chasing in will find the Thresh as he flashes in there. A double kill for Indigo. 2 members left alive, Potato God and Cronaldo. Potato God dies in the fountain through a hook from the sub. Cooler diving. They'll get the ace. He'll die to the little Nexus laser there, though, and now the Nexus will fall itself. Indigo with 10 kills in this one, but much of lane 0 far outpacing their opponents this time around. Well done. Game 1 going to lane 0 here. Y2E Orange had a few moments at the end of the game, but then lost control of that one, and gonna take a 1-0 series lead. Is lane 0 now. Off to a nice start in this one. And will be on the blue side for game 2, I believe. So we'll have counter picks. I wonder how that will affect the matchup, to be honest. I haven't really seen too much of a difference in this meta between the sides, but perhaps it'll play a role here. As we're going to take a quick break. I'll be back, just trying to get in the lobby for the next game here. So stick around here for game 2 between lane 0 and Y2E Orange. Okay, I think we're ready to go here on Pro Draft. We've got our second game, LNZRO versus Y2E Orange. And we're going to start off with here with a Kindred ban from Y2E Orange, it looks like. And LNZRO. They said something about losing bans. I don't think they have anyone subbing in, though. I think they were joking about that. So, maybe not. Who knows? Kaisa as well, going to be banned away here. As well as that Kale, which has been problematic on the world stage. People have had trouble dealing with that one. I believe Fnatic like struggled with it, but everyone else has been doing well. At least. Ah, yeah, okay, so they have sub. The sub is subbing in a support, it looks like, for LNZRO. I'm so used to just seeing the sub, I assumed he was, like, a part of the team, to be honest. But we've got a Morgana Vladimir ban here. On, looks like, I mean, first pick Xayah's open. They're going to grab Jarvan, though, so Y2E Orange prioritizing that jungle here. Yeah, the sub is a sub. That's kind of funny. For now, it looks like we're going to grab that Xayah in response. The LNZRO are going to grab that one with Rakan, so we're going to have that duo there. And now the Vayne in response. You don't get to see that too often. Braum as well going to be picked up here. So Y2E Orange coming back with a really interesting response to the Xayah Rakan lane. You don't see the Vayne too often anymore after Rageblade nerfs. She's just picked very sparingly. Braum, of course, pretty common. I mean, he's actually hasn't been played that much recently. I mean, he's always a pick, though. It's just that certain sports have had a bit more priority over him, and the 80 carries that have been played right now are good with Braum. I mean, every 80 carry is pretty good with Braum, except for, like, Jhin, I guess. But he just hasn't been that popular recently, even though he's, like, the most played competitive champion ever or something like that. Rek'Sai going to be locked in, though, for LNZRO, so they have very strong lane there, and bot lane a very strong jungler as well. So they may be going for a bit more of an early game pressure. They have the ability to pick soul lanes here to counter Y2E Orange for the most part as well. At least they'll get one counter soul lane, I should say. And if you get one of those, if you just pick like a good early laning champion, I was gonna say the Rise, so Y2E Orange banned that one away. I was thinking like, well, if they pick Rise and then get a counter like top lane, that could be really good for them because then they'll have potentially, you know, an even lane and mid lane or priority lane there, and then a priority lane and top lane. All of a sudden, your early game becomes ridiculous, and if you're laning into a Vayne, you can abuse her in the early game. The Jarvan is decent, but is not as strong as the Rek'Sai in the first few minutes of the game. But a smart ban away by Y2E Orange, in my opinion there. I think that was definitely a good idea to get rid of that Rise. I think this side lanes are getting rid of Veigar and GP, that Gangplank. They gave Gangplank bot his Gangplank last game. Solo killed the Vladimir in the top lane. 9-line Klein got solo killed on that Vlad, which was before level 6. And then he also like had a few other deaths. But the top lane matchup, because the Gangplank takes so long to scale, didn't really end up resulting in much of anything for them in terms of advantages later on, and they just kind of lost the team fights that he was involved in or was not involved in. Didn't really matter. The rest of the team was suffering, and Gangplank didn't get to the point where he can take over the game. Like, 4 or 5 items, GP can kind of take over a game, but when you're sitting on 2, it's not really possible unless you're ridiculously fed, like him. He really messed up, but he wasn't in that point. He had like a couple kills, a little bit up in CS, but wasn't strong enough to just do some crazy stuff in team fights there. Now we get a Kennen pick here by LNZRO, a Vel'Koz response by Y2E Orange. I assume this will be top lane Kennen though, and the next pick will be what's laning into the Kennen for Y2E Orange. Gonna be Jax into Kennen, so that'll be a fun. No, Urgot. They switched up at the last second there. Urgot into Kennen here. Vel'Koz in the mid lane. This is a blind Vel'Koz, though, and there are a lot of assassins up right now. You have Kali still available, who's a popular assassin mid lane, though is very difficult to pilot now after many nerfs. Really got to be on top of that champion in order to make it work. Use it to its full potential. We have, I mean, Zed. They're going to go for Zed. I mean, that's, I was thinking about it. I was like, there's no way they're going to do it. They're going to go for the Zed here, though. They have Kennen with the AP damage. Everyone else is AD for lane 0, but they are definitely picking very aggressive lanes here. They got 2 ninjas in their solo lanes, a void monster in the jungle here, and then a couple birds down in the bot lane. But those add up to very strong lanes, as well as just a strong team overall in the early game up against Vel'Koz, who's pretty immobile, and really a scaling composition that's not going to come online for quite a while here. Vayne, Vel'Koz, and even Urgot to some extent need to get items. Urgot better early on, but he definitely wants to get Cleaver before his damage output really comes through, and then the tank items to survive for long enough to use the Conqueror and that armor shred damage to really take over here. And I think we're going to be all readying up here now, getting into the champ select in a moment, but lane 0, they've definitely decided to go for an aggressive looking lineup and want to end this series nice and early here. They've got a bedtime to abide by, it seems. But I'm excited to see Tuller on the Zed. He's pulled it out in the past and looked really good on it. Klein, though, he didn't like getting pushed around in the top lane. He's going to go for the Kennen, which in the Urgot is not a crazy hard winning matchup, but I think you definitely do win slightly there on the Kennen. And then the Rek'Sai for Where My Jungle. Definitely going to be looking to get aggressive there on that one. So excited to see this one. Got a cool Vel'Koz pick as well. You don't get to see that one too often. Vayne always a chance to be a very entertaining champion. For better or worse, depending on how things go. But should speed through these picks here as we already know what's going to happen.
Your worst decisions will haunt you.
And I don't think that the AD, full AD problem will really hit lane 0. They have a Kennen, and if you don't build against the Kennen, he'll kind of tear you apart. So I don't think they'll build much MR, but I don't think stacking armor is really that possible either. I think Urgot will probably get an MR item at some point, especially if he wants to like hang around in the lane, maybe grab a Spectre's Cowl, or maybe even get Hexshinker, but you'd imagine Spectre's Cowl or more treads, but probably Spectre's Cowl. He probably wants Ninja Tavis this game, I would imagine anyway. So to me, you're probably getting one, MR item, maybe a QSS if you're the AD carry, if you're the Vayne, but that's probably going to have to come later on. So I guess it is pretty hard to build MR against them. Braum might naturally get it with a Locket, but everyone else is going to struggle to get it here, so interesting to see what happens here. Because lane 0, a team that wants to fight on 1 to 2 items, doesn't really give you the time to build against everything. And if you do, build that armor, then Kennen shreds you. If you decide to build that MR, then you're against 480 champions. They're all like 380 champions, I should say. That's 3 damage outputting 80 champions, that are actually going to be damage threats against you.
No cure for fools.
So I mean, it just puts you in a really awkward spot. Even though there's only 1 AP champion, you kind of have to build against it. And like, there's so many instances of this in solo queue where you go up against a team, they only have 1 real AP damage source, but then that 1 AP damage source gets fed and becomes a real issue for you and becomes a thorn in your side. You're like, well, I can't really build the MR, but I kind of have to in order to not die to them, Puts you in a bit of a conundrum. But the Vel'Koz, I think, was a really risky blind pick, and Tuller may just punish really hard here on the Zed. And the Vayne Braum, I think, is a pretty solid combo here, especially against Xayah. Being able to block the feathers with your shield is going to be really helpful. But that's still a dangerous 2v2 to be in. Anytime the shield is down, you're vulnerable, and even when it's not down, you can kind of wait it out on the Xayah. Still throw out your autos and then use your spells all after it's dissipated, but we'll see how it goes here. Maybe barrier for the Vel'Koz, which I think is a good decision here, but the Zed with Ignite may just decide to roam. I mean, that's kind of been the playstyle for Zeds recently, is you don't actually play for solo kills in lane, you rush these Youmuu's Ghostblade instead of the Dustblade. You go for Youmuu's Ghostblade, you run to the bot lane, you run to the top lane, you run into the enemy jungle. You just roam, and eventually you either kill, you know, the laners, or you don't get anything done and you slowly get outscaled and become irrelevant. But one of those two things happens, and oftentimes it's the Zed getting rolling and just killing everyone. Cool champion, excited to see it here. And we're gonna have a little bit of a wait here with the spectator delay, but should be a good one. I'd assume this Jarvan's gonna be tank though, and Urgot will be tanky. So if you do, you know, get to later stages of the game for Y2E Orange, they are going to be very hard to kill because Xayah is really the only consistent damage output. I mean, Rek'Sai has some. Probably go Conqueror on the Rex. Well, no, could go Hellblades. I've seen both from Rek'Sai's recently. But yeah, if he goes Hellblades, it's he doesn't have any really sustained damage late game to really deal with the Jarvan Urgot health. Even the Braum will take a long time to kill, so that Vayne Vel'Koz, you know, with that poke from the Vel'Koz and the Vayne damage when she jumps in, will be tough to deal with. I mean, it's kind of interesting you pair the Vel'Koz with the Vayne, because they're both kind of big damage champions, but they do very different things. You have the Vayne with consistent damage on the auto attacks, on hit effects, and the Vel'Koz is way more focused on poking away long range damage. Both can impact a team fight really, you know, well, and make a big difference there. But the Vel'Koz kind of wants to set up a siege situation and poke you down, and then look for a kill that way, or just take the turret or objective or whatever you're on at the moment. Which is why I think Caitlyn and Vel'Koz is like a really powerful duo, especially with disengage they have. So the Vayne pick, I think, may end up struggling here because it doesn't fit the team comp too well. It's going to struggle in lane, but we shall see what ends up happening here. We've got another minute or so. TP for top laners, but everyone else is combat summoners. Ignite versus Bitter in the mid lane, as you expect, versus a mage and assassin. So standard summoner spells pretty much everywhere. Nothing too crazy. Yes, the sub is playing, but he's at support, and maybe that makes him more powerful. I don't know. Everyone says the support is broken right now, so maybe the sub can abuse that role to get LNZRO a nice series win here. Quick look at the standings right now. Y2E Orange is actually 2-0, and LNZRO is 0-1, as the website is concerned anyway. So Y2E Orange is actually 2-0. Like, they're top of the standings right now, but LNZRO doing pretty well. Game 1 looked really nice from them. So we'll see if they can replicate that here in Game 2 and get themselves on the right track for the season here. LNZRO, I don't think has missed a playoffs ever in the history of the team. Or teams, I guess. I don't remember an instance of them missing playoffs. And going really deep pretty much all the time. Unfortunately, we don't have Free Tyler 1 this season, so a bit sad. But we've got a lot of new good teams with some interesting names, to say the least. I'm looking at Goth Boy Click and Project Otaku, and those names are still ridiculous. But we've got LNZRO, we've got Y2E Orange here. And probably a great game 2 on our hands as we spawn in. Potential for an invade level 1 from both sides. Braum very good. Rakan though with an AoE knockup. Powerful as well. Looks like LNZRO opting to spread out as a 5-man unit. And just running straight down mid lane. And an ARAM here for Y2E Orange. They get an auto off onto Where My Jungle, I guess. But nothing more. Tooler is now camping the line brush here in mid lane. Gone for the 3 potions here. Now refillable on the Zed. Up against a poke champion. Probably makes sense. Red buff start, it looks like, for both junglers. No.
Awareness is the key to victory. Be sure you never let your guard down.
Alrighty, so hopping into this one, nothing to note really. I mean, very standard stuff. It's going to come down to who plays better. And we've got clearly pretty clear win conditions for both sides. Yeah, the betting's closed, I believe. It closes after the first game. It closes, so you've got to get in here for game 1 if you want to bet cookies. As we get a nice DC here. I forgot we haven't had to disconnect this series and a pause this series, so kind of disappointing. I mean, it has to happen with every Sugar League Free League series. But yeah, betting only works in game 1. The betting closes after the game 1 ends, so you've got to get in here for that if you wanna get those cookies there. Don't want to flex on everyone and show how many cookies I have, but I might just do it. Who knows? Thanks for turning out though, and turning out. I don't know. Different directions. But trade level 1 here between the top laners. Well, not really a trade. Gameplay bot just kind of half health flying there. Who's gone for phase rush this game? So no real landing keystone, no kleptomancy. Gonna be all on that team fight. Or skirmish setup there. That movement speed for that play. As Indigo is super concerned with the minions, but Cronaldo is like, hey, I'm just gonna hit you with my crossbow real quick. My boomerang. That's an idea for a champion though. An AD carry who has a boomerang. I mean, like, I forget what Sivir's thing is called. It's like a Chalisar or something. It's not a boomerang. It's like a different type of weapon. But my idea now is just have an AD carry who has a boomerang, and they can only auto when they get the boomerang back. As we get a level 2 trade here between the bot lanes. Heal's actually gonna be dropped now from Cronaldo. Didn't think that was necessary. I mean, lots of potions left for the Braum as well out of the fight. Yeah, if you want to earn cookies, you can still challenge people to duels. That is a good way to get some cookies off people here. Where am I jungle? Potato God. It's the Halo Blades, Rek'Sai, and he's got Potato God on the ropes. He's got to go away. Flash follow, but the camera doesn't care for some reason. Looking at the minimap here, my good awareness on the minimap. Yeah, it wants bot lane for some reason. We're going to look at mid lane now. In the jungle. Jarvan very, very low. The Rek'Sai has forced him out of his jungle and should get that crab for free as more trades take place in the mid lane. And it looks like the Vayne duo here actually pushing in the Zyra Khan for the moment. I mean, they did drop heal, so I guess that you'd expect them to have priority if they use summoner spells there in a trade, but the sub here taunting on this Rakan. Did not go for the inspiration tree, so down like Pistons, I guess, down potions in that manner. Go for the spell seeps though, got a bit of damage here. Double knockup now by the sub. Hop back to Indigo there, but a decent trade through the shield and Guardian. So Zyra combat link didn't go in as we said. Now, Dueler looking for Quanzilla. We're going to spot him out, flash away. Dueler not going to follow here, just going to conserve the summoner spell advantage. Didn't think he would get the kill. He flashed over, ignited. Didn't have the cooldowns up, it looked like. So decided to just back out. I think that's a wise move here from the Zed. Going to have that big advantage now. So when he's level 6, he'll have a flashless Vel'Koz to look to kill. Or he can just roam on that Vel'Koz. And the Vel'Koz has a really tough time walking through the river without a flash to follow him. Sub's playing support because he's a sub. And LNZRO does not have a support, I guess. So that's why he's playing support. He's not actually in the mid lane for LNZRO this season, so. Or the top laner. He played top lane for a little bit. Yeah, LNZRO is scraping the bottom of the barrel, getting sub in here, it looks like. Unlucky when you gotta play him. Now 5 minutes in, gold dead even here. We got a gank in the mid lane. Cooler, where my jungle onto Godzilla. Here comes the counter gank from Potato God. The kill gonna come through, and Cooler takes the shadow back. Will survive this one. Potato God, no flash to get away here. Where my jungle traded flash with him earlier, but a nice kill there. Great gank from that Rek'Sai early on. Where my jungle Getting that first blood kill. Now giving a goal lead over here to lane 0. CS is even across the board everywhere. I mean, slight advantages, but pretty much even. Flash in by the sub. He's going to find the ignite and the kill here onto TL. Indigo and Cronaldo Indigo is looking at a kill on Cronaldo. He will get it there. Gets the flash out of the vein, but still grabs that kill. Beautiful play from the sub. Flashing in with a knockup. Maybe you heard me just talking a little bit of trash there on the stream and decided to prove me wrong. Grabs the kill for the 2v2. Takes one for himself and hands one over the AD carry. And now they go back to base. Up 10 CS and a kill. Now a gank topside. Great flash in by Gangplank Bot. Gonna grab Klein. Oh, no, misses the Fear Beyond Death, though, and Klein with the ultimate will ward them away. So a flash trade will mean that no summoner spells left for, you know, those ganks. But, hey, that's a pretty good gank to survive from. You get flashed and pulled back there. So nice work. The phase rush coming in handy there for Klein. Y2E Orange is actually 2-0 right now, but the sub is doing a good job there in the bot lane. I mean, if you're losing the sub, how good can you really be? I haven't learned my lesson yet. I'm gonna keep saying he's bad until he calls me out on Discord for sure. Yeah, Y2E Orange is 2-0. Lane Zero's 0-1, at least website. I don't know if they played last night. I don't believe they did. If we check the schedule, hopefully there's nothing happening. Yes, they didn't play last night. Yeah, they're 0-1 right now. Lane Zero plays tomorrow night as well, as Tulich gonna take his shadow away, trying to clear this control ward out. He might die for it, but able to dodge out on that ability from the Vel'Koz. So no, nothing can happen there. No punish. Never punished. A lot of kill threat though for Tuller. No flash for him, but Quanzilla does not have a flash either. We'll be getting the flash and the very back soon though, so that the kill threat may go down in the coming moments here, as long as Quanzilla plays safe for another 30 seconds, a minute here. 8 minutes in, 2,000 gold lead for Lane Zero here. They're up 1-0 in the series. That grand entrance does not look so grand. CS lead starting to build in the bot lane, though, 75 to 58. The Vayne lagging behind that Zaya here. Indigo in the sub, winning this 2v2. As expected for the matchup, but sometimes the matchup says you should win and you don't, and that's kind of embarrassing. So Lane Zero are, you know, getting the advantage they should. OG Drake though at 8 minutes, not bad. Almost 9, but not bad. Click to get it in. Will help that landing phase. It's energy champions, but I'm gonna turn down an ocean here. And look, they're going in. Deathmark caught a potato god. Tuller takes the shadow back. Where my jungle flashing out. Lifeform incineration. Well, we'll find one kill on a Tuller. Where my jungle will survive. A 1-for-1. The Void, was it Void Rush? I believe it's Void Rush, not Void Assault. Void Rush. Grabbing alongside the Deathmark, going in deep. They'll find the kill there. That was a pretty high-key play. Who's going to come down? The sub looking for the charm. We'll find it. Maybe another kill in the 2v2 here. TL ignites. Will get it. The sub with his second kill here. Oh, yeah, dying to the sub a second time in lane. Now that already one plane taken away, should be a second one here for Indigo and the sub, finding another 2v2 kill, this time with the ultimate, the quickness. As Ronaldo's back will be stopped. He'll fire a few autos back, but will not be able to really stop this push onto the turret. 1v2. I don't know if he'd die to a dive, because the quickness is on cooldown, but they could drop aggro if they wanted to. I mean, it's still off cooldown. Featherstorm is still off cooldown. They don't have the quickness, but maybe a dive can be made there with heal and flash and Featherstorm from Zion. Who knows? This Kennen though, Klein hanging in there. I mean, he got ganked. He's, had his flash blown, but he's hanging in there. The CS is relatively even, so good job on by him. As the cannon, who's clearly building towards a team fight. He's not playing for a split push at all this game. But gonna get ganked again here. I may have spoke too soon, but no, Klein gonna get out there. Lightning rush, and he'll survive. That gank doesn't even get CC'd. It barely loses any health here as Quanzilla. You're in a bit of a perilous position there, buddy. You got flash and barrier flashing away there from the Zed, but a good flash by Tooler to avoid the knockup. Tectonic Disruption will not disrupt that kill. Tooler with what was essentially a solo kill there. I don't know if where my jungle got any damage in, but beautifully done there by Tooler on this Zed. We all know he can do it. And he shows us again there here. Again, he rushed that. That's Yomu's Ghostblade. I was losing my mind for a second there trying to find the name for that roaming. He hasn't really roamed yet, but he has played with the jungler quite a bit. And the lanes haven't really needed it. I mean, I'm sure that Fine would love some help up top lane, but bot lane is doing really well right now. Rift Herald gonna be taken though by Where My Jungle here. 11 minutes in, 12 minutes almost have elapsed, and he'll drop that. It looks like Rift Herald topside is the option here. No, maybe just looking for potential gank. Turret playing still up for another 2 minutes. So they're taking the Rift Herald significantly earlier than they did last game with they took it with like 38 seconds to spare on the plating, so this time they should get a lot more off it, I think. 3 planes left in mid lane, all of them left in top lane, and what is that? Only 1 in bot lane, it looks like. Yeah, only 1 left in bot lane. Flying a good disengage here. Tooler going in, looking for the death mark. Avoids the Tectonic Disruption, finds the kill. Tooler taking a lot of damage. May die to the turret. In fact, he does die to the turret. Where My Jungle gets the kill, but a trade kill between Tooler and Quanzilla and the junglers. While Where My Jungle wins that 1v1 pretty hard. Warrior was built Potato God. Here comes the dive for the quickness. Ronaldo with the ignite on him will die here. And then the sub in a bit of trouble. Will die to the turret for sure. Try to battle dance his way out of it, but not fancy enough. And then the kill comes through for Indigo in the end. On the feather, pull back there. Where My Jungle with a great knockup disrupts Gangplank bot. In fact, dodges away from the Fear Beyond Death. Where My Jungle showing off the moves. Grabs the turret as well in the mid lane with the minions. That was some amazing play on this Rek'Sai from Where My Jungle. I have not seen that before. Interrupting the dash there from the Gangplank bot on this Urgot there. You don't see many people just interrupting Disdain with a Rek'Sai on Burrow. But showing off how that's done there. Where My Jungle now up to a level over Potato God, a level and a half essentially. Ocean Drake spawning, Raz spawn rather. In the bot side, I mean, not really that high a priority. Again, they have 2 energy champions, a Fury champion. So they really only have 2 mana users as LNZRO, and neither of them's really that dependent on it. And Klein going in all in the top side, and Klein looks like he might get a bit of revenge here. He's down to level, but gonna find the solo kill on the Gangplank bot with that Protobelt power spike here. Where My Jungle going in, looking, trying to knock him on a Potato God. The Grand Entrance gonna miss, of course, Potato God back, and Where My Jungle gonna pick up the kill there. And Redemption gonna come through. Not gonna find the kill on TL. Quanzilla were not on TL. All forced back, and the Dragon will be taken here. 21,000 to 28,000 gold. LNZRO up 7K at just 15 minutes in. Not bad at all. Thank you, Prominent Reflection, for the sub. I know you subbed a long time ago, but showing off some emotes there. You can get those by subbing to the Sugar Free League, so thanks for sticking around, watching, being clearly a productive member of society as a Twitch chat member. As Indigo in the sub playing a little bit of cheeky game here with that brushed cheese. Looking for someone, but no one gonna march up to the top side to even respond to this cannon. Just gonna give up the turret there. All outers have been taken now by LNZRO. I'm actually unsure who LNZRO lost to, but I'd really like to know because they are beating Y2E Orange significantly, convincingly right now. And they're 0-1, so kind of interesting. Tuller walked into the brush against Ronaldo. Yeah, I'm going to find it's a mark, but Tuller just going to peace out. I thought he might go in there and make a big play, but didn't have Flash or Ignite at the time. Had Death Mark, but without Ignite, it comes a bit tricky there. So good condemn for Ronaldo, but he had to use his own ultimate in order to save himself. LNZRO lost to Don Inferno. Nice. Here we go. Engage from the sub, but it looks like he's just doing it to peace out. Indigo now in trouble. Featherstorm going to buy a bit of room, flashes away, and will survive. Well done by Zyricon. Never mind, I spoke too soon. The fear beyond death from Gangplank bot. That was a long one. Almost max range it looked like, and the sub wasn't quite able to block it. Indigo goes down, uses both summer spells and the ult, but dies in the end to that Urgot. Yeah, lanes are losing to Don Inferno. I mean, Don Inferno must be very good this season then. Because Don Inferno is 2-0, and they beat LNZRO, who I think LNZRO is going to be one of the top teams in the league. I mean, looking at their roster, from past experience as well as this game, I think LNZRO is going to be one of the best teams. So, you know, they lost 2-1. I think that Don Inferno LNZRO are going to be some of the best teams there. So, they get a dive, though, in the top side. And that Urgot gonna go down. Where am I jungle? He's very, very strong right now. Flashes in for that kill after getting the knockup. Potato God now in trouble. Death Mark from Tuller flashes in for the Qs. The autos will get the kill. Well done there by Tuller. Getting his fourth of the game, tying him with Where Am I Jungle. Now mid lane gonna be the focus now. The sub going in, misses the grand entrance. Now we're going to have to hop back out to some Patriots as they take the inner turret in the mid lane here. 17 minutes in, we got double ocean, but no mountains, so the turrets aren't dying too fast. But definitely excited to see a game between Don Inferno and LNZRO. They won't be playing again for a while. But I think that'll be a really good match. I'm thinking Pals versus LNZRO, Pals versus Don Inferno will be good as well. Gothboy Click, I think, actually looked pretty good. They're 1-1 right now, but I think they look solid. Not amazing, but solid. I mean, it's sure really too early to tell. I mean, we're 2 games in for most teams, 1 for some. Or a series, I should say. I mean, they might play multiple games. I think overall the league's looking pretty good. A lot of parity. I don't think we're gonna have a top-heavy league here. Or at least the top will be several teams here. So Death Mark can be dropped here onto Ronaldo, but shut down is Tuller on this Ed. Where am I jungle now in a 2v3 here with the support of sub. So I'm gonna find 2, but Ronaldo still firing away in a sliver of health. Where am I jungle? He's gonna get out. TP coming through. Klein coming in. They'll find the kill on the Ronaldo for sure. Just gonna use the Lightning Storm to take him down there. TL gets away alongside Gangplank bot there. So they get a 1-for-1, and shutting down the Zed there. Pretty worth it in this situation. Like that 1-for-1 from them. A third Ocean Drake spawning in 15 seconds here, so a favorite of Riot Games, it looks like. Akuma, yeah, Akuma should be good too. I didn't mention them, but I mean, if I mention all the teams that are going to be good this year, I'd have to talk about a bunch of people as another pickoff onto the Urgot going to come through. I think Akuma's going to be pretty good, but I think the top part of the team, league's going to be very, very big here. Is the sub going to hop out over the wall? Where my jungle on Potato God finds the knock. Fine going in. He's got 2 stuns, but very deep underneath this turret. The stopwatch going to buy a bit of time, and he'll die. A little bit too much from Klein there. The limit testing coming through. And it's going to be a 2-for-1. Klein falling. Exchange for Gangplank and Potato God. Who I'm going to say, Potato God is definitely one of my favorite names in the league. Just gonna say that right now. Knock up from the sub, and TL should die here. Tuller, a lot of damage actually flashing away. Will survive. The Shuriken was on cooldown there for Tuller. If everyone's good, is anyone really good? I would argue that yes, if everyone's good, lots of people could be really good. I'm not taking the challenge because my phone's upstairs and I have to use two-factor authentication to log into Twitch, so I can't log in right now. As Tuller finds Bonzilla on the blue buff. Yikes, that's a lot of damage. Yomu's Dustblade Zed here up against... Well, he had Zonias, I think. Maybe he just purchased it going back. I didn't see before, but... He at least had some armor, and yeah, he just dies really quickly to Zed. I mean, if he's Zonia's there, it wouldn't really do anything, so I guess no point in wasting the cooldown. Even if he had it there. 5-0-5, it's the Rek'Sai now. Where my jungle? Clearly using this pick to get his team ahead here. Deathspark has been dropped on Gangplank bot. Tuller going to find the kill with that pop there. Satisfying sound. No Shockblade Zed. Galaxy Slayer Zed. I hear that from the Zed main that Zed is best played with Shockblade. Most satisfying skin sounds there are. 10,000 gold lead now for LNZRO. 22 minutes in. They're looking for their second 20-minute Baron. I guess it's 22 minutes, but you know what I'm saying. Very early Baron. No real contested looks like. Baron going to be taken. And they're moving back out on the map here. All the items they really need are in inventory right now. Looks like... No, Tula's going to go back and grab a couple more items. Doesn't have the full cleaver, but... Just going to play it safe. Spend all the gold here with the Baron Power recall, but why not? Fine working on the top side, looking at the inner. No one responding to him there, and... Setting up a Death Rush here, but a nice check of it will make sure that where my jungle doesn't take check the wrong one. I mean, I think that the league is going to be pretty hotly contested. I would say that... Hold on. Hold that thought. Engage coming through. The sub doing a good job to buy a bit of roam here for Indigo. He's firing away with the feathers. Where my jungle goes in deep. The Void Rush going to find the kill, but he goes down immediately afterwards. Potato got flashed away. Indigo, he's going to grab that kill. Featherstorm dropped here, and Tuller joins the fight. That'll be a triple kill for the Xayah. Tuller going in onto Quanzilla. And the Zonies, again, just going to buy a bit of time here, but he'll go down for sure. Quadra kill for Indigo. The ace comes through. 7 kills now on the Xayah, picking up 4 in that fight. Quanzilla noping out of this one. It looks like this may be the end here with Bear, and they've only got caster creeps. And GP bot gonna peace out as well. A quick surrender gonna end the series here. LNZRO gonna take this one. Game number 2, not quite as quick as the first, but even more convincing. I guess the game time was as quick, but that was only because of a surrender. So LNZRO gonna take that series 2-1 over. Sorry for the black screen there. I wasn't expecting a forfeit, so wasn't ready to transition. But here we go. LNZRO 2-0 over Y2E Orange. Sub is bad. You're right, Fluke, for sure. I was shit talking Sub. I mean, I wasn't really shit talking. It was more like telling the truth. But with this series, LNZRO goes 1-1 in the league here. Gonna put them, smack dab in the middle. Akuma Sabres also 1-1. Imperial Red Knights 1-1. Gothboy Click 1-1. We only have 2 0-2 teams right now. Imperial Black Knights and New Age Esports, and then now Y2E Orange are gonna be 2-1. Dawn and Furrow 2-0. The Pals 2-0. I don't know. Imperial Red Knights and Project Otaku are playing later. I don't know if the standings I was looking at are updated from yesterday, so those standings could all be wrong. But just looking at them right now, I think that there's definitely going to be a clear top cut of the league, but I think it's going to include quite a few number of teams. At least 4 or 5, if not like 6 or 7 teams who are really competitive for the top spots and have a chance at winning the league, or at least going to be considered to be winning league. I mean, everyone's got a chance pretty much at this stage anyway. There's a lot of weeks left to go, and I've seen teams start 0-2 and come back and barely lose any games after that. So lots of League of Legends left to play here. Thanks, Prominent Reflection, for gifting a sub to Duke Guyver. Appreciate it. And now you've got another nice sub gift badge next to your name. Oh no, you lost the duel immediately after though, or haven't lost it yet. But I think sub will probably win that one if he accepts it. Gonna be honest. The sub coming off a series win, you're gonna challenge him to a cookies duel. I don't know, man. That seems pretty risky. Yes, thank you for showing off those new sub badges, Duke Guyver. Yeah, we've got another match Sunday. Should be another 8 o'clock start. Not sure which game we're gonna do. Believe it's gonna be the Pals versus Gothboy Click. Yeah, the Pals versus Gothboy Click, and that should be a good one. Gothboy Click is 1-1 right now. Did they play earlier on? They did. They played Friday, so I'm not sure how that game went against Imperial Black Knights, but they're probably 1-1. You know, could be 2-1, 1-2, depending on that. But the Pals versus Gothboy Click should be a good match for sure, because they're probably going to be two good teams this season, and competing for the top spots. So that'll be a good match for sure. LNZRO though, coming out after a loss, you know, if their first loss to Dawn Inferno, they start 0-1 but come back and show that they're definitely contenders, taking out a 2-0 team in Y2E Orange. So I mean, this is definitely proving that LNZRO are here to play, and they that organization certainly has, I think, made it to every playoff. So it would be disappointing if they didn't, but it looks like they're on track to do it here. But a good game for sure. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitch and YouTube. I am not Kios. I am not COUS. No one probably wants to listen to my voice any more than they have to, though. So don't even bother. But thanks, guys, for sticking around and watching the subs and hanging out in Twitch chat for us. We've, again, another match tomorrow, 8 probably, assuming nothing goes wrong. But quick series here, 2-0. LNZRO, do they play again? LNZRO does play again tomorrow on Sunday, so I'm interested to see how that match goes. They're playing the Red Knights, though, so it'll be interesting. Dawn Inferno is also taking on Y2E Orange tomorrow, so those are some good matches, but those, unfortunately, are going to be played off-stream, but good match on-stream with the Pals versus Gothboy Click. But I'll leave you guys now. Thanks for watching. And oh, the sub and Prominent Reflection dueling for cookies here. I don't think I've ever lost a duel. I took a bunch of Fallen's cookies when he was, you know, wanting to give them away, and I'm pretty proud of that one because it's all based on skill. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock. And yeah, that's all I got. LNZRO takes the series 2 over Y2E Orange. And have a good night, everyone. Good luck in solo queue. And yeah, be scared of Zed, I guess, because Tooler is just killing everyone. And apparently the sub can play support. Didn't know that was possible. Didn't know he could play any position well, but apparently he can. So watch out for that one. But good night, everyone. And that's all from me.